Hey, it's Misa from Microsoft, and today I'm joined by Steve to go through why Surface Go 2. Welcome, Steve.
Thanks, Misa. Yeah, look, I'm super excited to be here and talk through everything Surface Go 2. We were lucky enough to get our devices a couple of weeks back, and I'm really excited to kind of get into the nitty-gritty about what this device can do. Now, we're going to talk through a few things, right, Misa? We're going to talk through things like design. We're going to talk about the performance of the device. We're even going to go through things like accessories and Microsoft 365. But what I'm really quite interested to find out about, though, is who this device is really for and whether it's for you guys as well. So, Misa, what should we do now?
Well, if you haven't already checked out the Surface videos on why Surface Pro 7, X, and Laptop 3, make sure you check them out. We're doing Go 2 today, so let's jump into it.
So in this part, we're going to start talking about design. And this is a really important part to talk about because the Surface devices really emphasize on how their devices look. Isn't that right, Misa?
Yeah, and not only look, but how they actually are used, right? So there are some changes that they made to the Go 2 that make it really practical for the user or the customer. And I'd love for you to walk me through a couple of your favorite ones, Steve.
Absolutely. Well, probably my favorite part to do with Go 2 is how they've increased that screen size by 1/2 inch. But what they've done is reduce the bezels on the side. And that means that you get more screen real estate. And for me, that's really important. Misa, is screen real estate something that's important for you?
Yeah, absolutely. That extra 1/2 inch you wouldn't think would make a difference, but when you're actually working, whether or not it's entertaining or doing a Word document, it's definitely useful. But then also there are bezels, so it's practical. It is a tablet, so you can still have your thumbs on the machine without it blocking the actual screen itself. So I find that really useful as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what's also really good, Misa, is they've also managed to have the same technology in Surface Go 2 as they have with our high-end Surface devices as well, such as Studio. We've got that Pixel Sense display crammed into this 10.5-inch touchscreen. And that is super important, meaning that the customer gets the same experience on our more affordable devices as they do for our powerhouse devices as well. On top of that, the form factor. Now this 2-in-1 form factor has really kind of lent itself to that Surface brand. 2-in-1 form factors are now part and parcel with how people interact with their devices. I couldn't imagine interacting with a device in a different way, could you?
No, I definitely am a 2-in-1 convert. No matter what the actual form factor is, I love the versatility that a 2-in-1 machine gives you. And with Go 2, you have that versatility. Whether or not for Go 2 with the kickstand or another 2-in-1 device, what it does, it allows you to choose the way in which you want to use your device. Tablet, laptop mode, whatever suits you.
Absolutely, and underneath that kickstand as well is that micro SD card slot that we all come to expect from Surface devices. But it doesn't just stop there, Misa, does it? There are also things like USB Type-C, we have a headphone jack, there's a SIM card slot so you can be productive out and about as well. You've got volume buttons and power buttons as well. This device is really for people who want to be productive, but at such an affordable rate.
That's right, Steve. And not only have we made changes to the outside of the device, but we've also made some changes to the inside to make sure that we've got the right device or the right Go 2 for you.
Absolutely. So maybe what we should do now is jump in and talk about performance.
Let's do it. Right, let's talk about the performance of the Go 2. And just like we made some changes with the design, we did make some changes when it came to the performance. Isn't that right, Steve?
Absolutely, we did. And it's really important to have a device that is both good looking and performant at the same time. So what's changed inside the Surface Go 2, Misa?
Depending on what kind of performance power you need out of your Go 2, we've got various models to keep you covered. And if you need to have connectivity all the time, we've got options with LTE. Isn't that right, Steve?
Absolutely, and having LTE connectivity for me is something that is super important. Like Misa, you and I both travel quite a lot for work and we need to have a connected device. Now, what's great to see about Go 2 is it incorporates that same technology that we see in the Surface Pro X with that eSIM and SIM slot as well, meaning you have the choice to choose how you're connected through LTE whilst out and about. For me, that's super important. And the fact that it's a small device as well, it's a fantastic travel companion to be able to consume media do your emails, get your internet banking up to date as well.
Yes, but also equally as important is making sure that we last throughout the day. And with Go2, you've got 10 hours of battery life. And if that's not enough for you, you can get fast charging with the Surface Dock to get you up to 80% in under an hour. So important for us, isn't that right?
Absolutely. And now if I think about it from my point of view, I can fly from Perth to Sydney, turn around in Sydney and come back to Perth and not have to compromise my Netflix binging addiction. And I can make sure that I'm watching all of that on the same charge. However, if I was to run low on charge, having up to 80% charge in under an hour means that I'm never more than a few minutes away from a decent amount of charge on my device, right?
Yes, and if I don't get the pleasure of seeing you in person, a lot of the times we're actually just video conferencing. And I know that if I need to give you a call and I've got my Go2 with me, I'm gonna look and sound my best when talking to you with the dual studio mics and the Omnisonic speakers, as well as the front-facing and rear-facing web cameras on the machine itself.
Absolutely, and those speakers are only enhanced by having Dolby Premium audio as well. But I think there's something else in this device that has really kind of meant that this device is a premium device, and it's something that we would expect to be on all premium Windows devices, and that is that RealSense camera to be able to use Windows Hello, right, Misa?
Yes, a secure and personal way to log in with your face is the way that we all log into our devices, isn't that right, Steve?
Absolutely, making sure that we use biometric authentication to unlock our device whilst making it personal, and that device then feels ours. It's an extension of us, and that's what these devices are.
We've covered a lot when it comes to the physical device changes as well as the performance changes we've made to the Go2. But we could talk about this for hours, and I encourage you to check out our Facebook page for some of our live streams we've done for some longer form content deeping into the Surface range. But I think it's time to continue with some of the rest of the items to talk about Surface accessories, Steve.
Absolutely, and a package that is complete for a customer is probably the most important part in this step, because making sure the customer gets the best experience means that we need to have the right accessories for that customer. Let's jump in and check out what accessories will go well with Go2. Now, when it comes to accessories, we need to make sure that the customer has exactly what they need when they want to use it. Whether that are different peripherals, whether that's a dock, whether that's a mouse, we've got the Surface accessories to keep you covered. Isn't that right, Misa?
Yes, and back to that versatility perspective there, when you have a two-in-one device, it's really important to make sure what you're going to be using the device for to get the right accessories. So for me, I love a two-in-one device, but I always need a keyboard of some sort because I just love going into laptop mode. And I love that with the Surface accessories range, you can customize the package that's what's right for you.
And of course, the Surface range comes with a myriad of colors to make the device customizable to suit you. The new colors that are in the range are ice blue and poppy red.
And Steve, what I love about the Surface Go2 is that being a Surface, it obviously comes with Windows 10, and that is in 10S mode. Isn't that right, Steve?
Absolutely, it comes in Windows 10 Home in S mode. And for those of you that aren't sure about what S mode means, S mode is streamlined to make sure that we are completely secure, we maximize battery life, and we get the most performance out of the device as well. What's great about it is when we look at about who this device is for, it keeps the users safe. If I was to look at my daughter, for example, I would only want her to have a device where she could access applications that have been vetted and are approved for people to download on their devices. I wouldn't want her to jump onto a random website and download a toolbar or download an application that I'm not across and I know that hasn't been going through such a stringent vetting process. So for me, Windows 10 Home in S mode is a great operating system for people who want to stay secure, performant, and maximize their battery as well. And of course, to completely wrap this device up, it would not be a productivity device if it didn't include a productivity suite. And for that, we have Microsoft 365 Home. Misa?
Yes, that's right, Steve. Every device needs Microsoft 365, whether or not that's for the security benefits or for the productivity apps or for the myriad of other things that Microsoft 365 gives to you in your subscription. Make sure that you pick up Microsoft 365 with your Surface device so that you can unlock the potential with your Surface Go2.
Absolutely. Misa, I think you've done an amazing job covering off the accessories and Microsoft 365 and the operating system that comes with this. Now, I think what we need to do is talk about who this device is for. So let's jump in and have a look at who this device is aimed at.
Yes, let's answer the question, why Surface Go 2? So we've spoken a lot about the Surface Go 2 and how and why it might be right for you. For me, it really lends itself as that companion device. I personally love my Surface Book 3 at the moment, but there are times where I just need to have a device with me on the go that fits in my bag that allows me to be a little bit more productive. Say I need to write a long email and I don't want to do it on my phone, having that Surface Go 2 with me and the type cover allows me to smash out that email in 30 seconds instead of quite a long time formatting on my phone. For you, Steve, I know you love it for a different reason.
Absolutely, yeah. So for me, the reason is that this device is perfect in that school category from like kindy through to year 6. And a prime example of this is recently we've had to do a lot more homeschooling. I've got a 5-year-old that's in pre-primary and she didn't have a device before this. And when we went into homeschooling, it was very apparent that she needed to have some form of technology to be able to keep up with the schoolwork that was going on. So I gave her my Surface Go, and in having this, she was able to be productive on a device that suited her needs, that wasn't too powerful for her, didn't break the bank, and she was then able to take that back into the classroom with her when she went back to school. Now, this device is now a staple of her learning environment. She comes home and uses it for her homework, and she takes it into school, and she brings her projects into school as well. So for me, the Go 2 is fantastic for students in kindy through to year 6.
And what I love about that, Steve, is that for you and your daughter, that entry-level model would be perfect for you. And for me, the higher-end M3 model would be perfect for me. And that's what it is around Surface. We give you choice to find the right Surface within each model for yourself and what you'd be using it for. Within that, obviously, there's many other use cases for the Surface Go 2, but I love the fact that we've got 2 different opinions here, but it works perfectly for both of us.
Absolutely. So what I'm hearing, Misa, to summarize, is that this device is for everybody who wants a companion device, or they're a student that's going through K through year 6 and needs a device to be performant but affordable at the same time. I think that the Surface Go 2 is a pretty good option for most people.
Thanks, Steve, for joining me today. And thank you guys for watching our Surface Go 2 video. If you haven't already checked out our videos on why Surface, they're in a playlist on our YouTube channel, so check them out. And make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss the Surface Book 3 video we've got planned in a couple weeks' time. And for all the other items that we've got going on, where should they go, Steve?
Well, they should keep it locked to our Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter feeds. But for all the latest courses, articles, and accreditations, Misa, where should they keep it locked?
To ExpertZone, guys. And once again, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
See you later.